Hello and welcome back to me playing Oxygen Not Included again. In the last episode, I have built a solar panel, and I also discovered the disconnect tool, which I'm very excited about. So now I am going to get the dupes to raise this here. This is the oxygen masks. When the dupes are going up in the ladder or walking around with a mask, they're a little bit slower. They take a hit to their athletics, their ability to run around, climb things. So it's pointless to have that sitting way down there when there's lots of oxygen around. Now, in order to push the hydrogen up as well as push out more oxygen, I'd like to have another electrolyzer somewhere, let's say about halfway between here and here. I think this location is going to do. So let's put electrolyzer right there, boom. Connect that with power. That's going to need water source. Last episode I also had a little bit of a kerfuffle with the water situation. If you want to know about that, I guess you can watch the last episode, but I'm going to try to get out of that whole situation. So new water is going to be dumped in this location, at least from the point of view of the washroom. But yeah, so at this point, I just want to take the water line and connect it with the electrolyzer. Let's look at things over here. Yeah, oxygen is getting low in this area. This is going to help produce more oxygen, make this more breathable, push the hydrogen up, and we can possibly put the gas mask stations somewhere around here. I'm going to create more than 5 because I've got 8 dupes. There are going to be points when I'm going to want to have a surge up here, and I can only have a surge of 5 dupes at a time because of the gas masks situation. But that can be resolved, and that's what I'm going to aim to do. The other bit, I'm going to continue to produce more glass and produce more solar panels. I need to look at the maximum power of each one of these, and I don't want the total to exceed 1,000 because that's a circuitry it's on. Just this regular wire is feeding into the system, and that is going towards a transformer with heavy watt wires that can handle a lot more power. And I'm using that to make glass, do advanced research. Speaking of which, while some of this stuff is going on, let's have scientists research something for us. I'm going to want to make oil soon at some point. My ultimate goal is to discover some of the new updates in the Whatta Blast. Let's get access to this because I want to get over to another asteroid. Don't have a place to store bleach stone. I'll aim to have a place for that soon. But I think the highest priority thing is to deal with the fact that I'm not producing any water. So I've got this cache water, I've got this cache water, that's kind of the last ones. Okay, I've got this little tiny bit here. After that, I don't have any water, and I don't want to be in a situation having to do something at that point. I want to proactively deal with that now before I'm into that that situation. So I'm going to create the wire, but not actually connect it. And we'll have to make a plan for this. And I think the plan is going to be taking the polluted water, convert that to a water sieve. But, as I mentioned, I think in the last episode, this is too cold. This geyser is producing this at -10, which is nice from a cooling perspective, but it is not, it's far too cold. Now, I've got a lot of liquid down here that's actually just taking, or polluted water down here. I could actually just take that. I've got a frozen core, so if I avoid going down here, I can actually use the natural heat that's in this area to warm up that polluted water. I actually built this wall on purpose to avoid water, polluted water going down here, but actually maybe I do want it to be down here. I'm going to actually dig that out of it. Do that on both sides. And then I can build a pump to pump up this polluted water and send it up here into the system to be consumed. Now, it's not going to last forever because eventually this is going to become too cold. But I think it's going to take... That's going to buy us a lot of time, if nothing else. That's my plan. I'll let the dupes continue on building and digging down here. And we'll start to put pieces together of this new water source. Cool slush geyser. I think it's time to put in a little bit of an optimization. The dupes are going down and putting this polluted dirt. Is it polluted dirt, I think? No, clay. Into here. You can see Chef putting some clay in there. It'd be nicer if they had a storage bin and we used automation to put that in. We have the technology for that, so let's do it. Wires isn't too far away, so we'll put that in. This is being dug out and dropped off. We're going to open up these to actually allow more liquid to fall down. I'm going to have to deal with the fact that I've got different types of liquids. Ethanol being one. Now, ethanol is not being produced. I could probably just mop that up. Or not mop it up, rather, but just pump it out. Or you know what I'll do? Actually, I think it's easier. Why don't I just do this? Actually, I think I know why. I lose a lot of material down there if I did that. I don't want to go that route exactly. How about this? I'm going to get the ethanol to be dumped in here, and we'll trap it away. Just as a simple way of filtering. Is that ethanol? Let's get rid of our ethanol. A little bit there as well. Nice thing about ethanol is that it can take really cold temperatures without freezing. That's why I'm using it as a cooling... Oh, I never restored that. This is a cooling line for my deep freezer. Okay, I think that's the last piece I needed to make that happen. Although, what is... I think I want it like that. There we go. I'm not entirely sure I have all this right. So I've got a cooling line going in that's visiting this. I kind of have a backup at this location. This is supposed to, I think, what I was supposed to do. This is going to be going... Alright, give me a moment. I'll figure this out. Okay, so I think I know what I need to do. I just want to put a liquid bridge right here, and the idea is, you know, another output right there. It's going to make this the priority line, so if there's a cooling line coming back, that's going to be a priority. And when I don't need to send the cooling liquid ethanol up here to be frozen, that's being monitored by a thermal sensor right there. And once this is finally drained, then and only then will a line go around here and take on the coolness from that zone. So I can now specify that I want to have clay in here. I think that is raw material. Nope, that is, you can use that for farming, isn't it? Cultivative soil. There it is. Cultivative soil. That's where clay is going to be stored. Now I'm going to reduce the priority of this because I'd rather have the dupes when they have some spare cycles to throw clay in there and just produce this when it's available. The other thing, a lot of polluted oxygen is being produced right around here. So I figure why not actually filter at this location instead of bringing it up here, causing the dupes to have to drop the material down. As you can see, a lot of polluted oxygen is rising in and around here from the polluted water. Polluted water ultimately evaporates away as polluted oxygen, which is kind of a cool feature. Let's have a look at the top of the base. Still lots of hydrogen. Dupes are still putting together more solar panels. Going to be raising the location for this soon. Just have to choose the exact location for that. Let's see, we don't need cooking or ranching, I think, at this point. Wrangle more critters. Ultimately going to want to have 6 per. More pips are needed. Glass, we might as well produce more glass as well. So I want more solar panels. Research is ready. What would be a useful thing to research at this point in the game? Feeling an Atmo sensor might be a useful thing. I'd like to get access to the this to be able to create some suits, but I don't have the right material for it, so maybe I'll hold off just yet. Just do that. Carbon dioxide engine, getting up in space would be another thing. I also want to get a dupe. We haven't dug out to this location just yet, but we will. And when we do, I'm going to want to send someone over. But I don't want someone that has a lot of skill points given away, because they're going to get stressed out quite easily. So let's build a location to handle that. With a skill scrubber, it's going to be a station. Skill scrubber right here. Oh, gotta get rid of the plants first. So I would ultimately like to deal with this actually. Oh, I should have just done that a while ago. I thought I had a lot of ethanol there. That was silly. So I'm ultimately going to get 3 different types of liquid here, most likely. The salt water, because I see some salt here, brine anyway, mixed in. But at least this is going to get rid of the ethanol that's down around here. Oh, food poisoning. No. Okay. That must have been because the dupes were sick. It was the last episode that dropped off and was dumped in here. Nuts. How do I deal with that? One thing I definitely don't want to do now at this point is take down this wall and get more polluted water in here, because that's just going to add to the problem, I guess. Probably the best thing to do is just to pump this water into the system over here and have that treated, because I've got a system that deals with polluted water and kills it off food poisoning rather. It kills it off quite quickly. So that's what we're gonna have to do. So I'm gonna have a pipe that goes from here that takes that water, polluted water, with food poisoning. We're gonna have to go through all this. I wish there was a bridge that was expanded at several tiles. That would be so nice if that existed, but it doesn't. But this is an easy fix now that I've discovered the cut feature. I discovered this in the last episode. Very nice feature. What I can do now is get the dupes to actually... Hold on, I don't need to... Actually, with a cut feature, I don't even have to do that. Essentially, I want to take that out. And I want to reroute this line here, such that it'll go in like that now. And we'll have this. This is the polluted line with food poisoning that's going to go up. Certainly don't want it to interact with this system. And that will make its way up. And we'll go around here. Let's just put in a regular insulated tile right there. Regular as in not ceramic. Liquid bridge is going to jump over there, and then we have a line going up here. Don't connect that in with the water system. Building pipes now that I know about this cut feature right next to each other is really not a big deal anymore. That's a huge benefit. Very excited about that. Now I'm going to send that in here. I want to be careful about that. Again, I can just cut this. Connect that pipe in. I want to be careful about this because I don't want to overclog this over here. So what I'm going to actually do is going to get it to join this location instead. So cancel that. But I'm going to slow it down so that this doesn't overclog it. Actually, yeah, I am. That I can do with the liquid valve sitting right there. This did not, so I can slow the liquid that goes into the system. Liquid bridge. Going up. And we'll need a pump. So I got rid of the ethanol or mopped it away. Now if regular water gets in there, it's not really going to be a problem. So I'm not going to worry about that. Let's put this pump right here. Make sure this is now connected. I also have this cache of water. It's a little bit warm, so I might actually just leave that alone. I sealed off this guy too, so I don't have to deal with the heat that comes from that. But what I'm thinking of doing is just storing all the excess water here instead of where I have it in these different caches, because it's kind of hard to manage all these different caches. It would be nice if I just had one central location for that. Before I do that though, I think it would be smart to have a place to store bleach stone, because I'd like to dig in here, but I see bleach stone. There's also a couple other spots that I want to dig into, but there's bleach stone. Problem with bleach stone is that it turns to chlorine. I'd rather keep it available as just regular bleach stone. So bleach stone, if I store it in a container with liquid water, other liquids would work as well, but in that case it will preserve its state, not turn to chlorine. So that's what I'm doing there. I think it is time to build a skill scrubber. I'm gonna put that right there. That is a heavy usage of power. How am I going to do this then? So I want to keep this door available. I want to get the heavy wire going around. I guess I can do... That'll work, right? It's going to go in. Oh, I can use the cut. Well, I want to destroy that anyway. Let's not do that. Let's do destruct. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to use the sets of power that's coming in from the solar. No, not solar panels. But this is just making sure that this skill scrubber is powered. Let's also make sure we've got light access for it. So it's going to have a dupe sensor. We can put that right here. And automation wire from the sensor to the light. Can the dupes create access, reach that? Not entirely sure. Just build that ladder. I think they need that ladder to create that tile, or that heavy watt wire right there. So I'm going to choose pilot to go over in the other world. I was thinking either pilot or miner. I couldn't really decide. Still lots of digging in this world, so that's why I thought maybe I'll send pilot over. Discover what is there. Oh yeah, this doesn't have power. I don't know if this building actually benefits from having light, but I'll put it there just in case. That was pilot. They're going to remove all their skills so that they don't get stressed out when they go to a world that doesn't have cots and washroom and all that stuff. So the dupes have created this. Excellent. So I'm going to want to power this. Now that's a lot of pumps on that one circuitry, so I have to be cautious of that. So maybe I won't actually connect it just yet, but I'll at least have the wire just about ready to go. And what I'd like to do is, if I can actually go over here. Okay, this excellent water is being dumped out here, because what I want to have happen, is to dig out this area for water storage. And I want to take all the different caches of water that I have available and store it at that one location. So that's the 3 of them. I'll set it up so that these 2 pumps, actually I already have it set up so that these 2 pumps don't run at the same time, taking damage to my circuitry. You notice that all the liquid is being run from here. That's essentially forcing this pump to run before this one runs. Just saving my circuit. Okay, that didn't work. I was hoping that would actually throw just a tiny bit more liquid above. Made a mess. Who made a mess and why? Your engineer. Is there no water in the... You can escape. You're not trapped there, right? No, you can go out. Why didn't you make a mess? Oh! Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, okay, yeah, okay. I see why. I see why. You're trapped. That actually prevents Pilot from getting down there and being skill scrubbed. I'm going to let temporarily all the dupes in here so that they can mop up. Because right now, engineers probably having a terrible time. They were trapped for a while. Not only that, they were just standing in their own vomit. Or, actually, maybe it's not... No, they weren't sick. They actually made a mess. Gross. I'm not sure which one is worse. Let's not even worry about that. So yeah, now only engineer can go in here because they're the best at operating that machinery. Let's just get rid of that. There's Pilot getting their skills scrubbed. Up the priority over here. This is where we're going to be storing bleach stone. Don't want this to run for very often, or very long. Just need the smallest amount of liquid. I was hoping this one would sort of push some more up. So this is going to be... Oh, it's over 1,000. That's weird. I'm surprised that that hasn't already pushed that up. This might kind of come as a big unexpected bump up that I don't want. Yeah, carbon dioxide is sitting right there. That's a little annoying. This pressure is going up. This is way too much pressure for that water. What to do, what to do. How to solve this situation. Because that's just... If that continue... Let's see what happens at 2,000. Will it pop up then? No. No. Okay, let's... Because if I could essentially store a ton of liquid, possibly, and then if this thing ever lets go, it could flood this whole zone. If I put in, like, an insane amount of liquid. Let's try destroying these 2 tiles. There we go. That's what I essentially had wanted to happen. If we put in these 2 tiles here, can destroy liquid vents. This actually gives me 2 spots for storage bins. I don't really have that much bleach stone, but I guess it's not going to be a bad thing. Hit me with a good dupe. Tidy. No, I do not need a dupe that concentrates or has interest in clean. Rocketry and operating. Noodle arms doesn't dig. No, that looks scary. What is this liquid? That's polluted water. That does not have food poisoning. That's just sitting there. That's a source of water. Not renewable, but it's just sitting there. Oh no, I've got another use for you. Okay, I'm gonna leave that alone. Alright, so I'm gonna put a ladder here so if the dupes ever need to cross, they don't have to go through this. I'll be back when that's built. Okay, so the dupes finally have built this. I'm going to put another storage bin there, but for now, this one will do. So I want to store bleach stone. Actually, I don't know if the dupes know what bleach stone is, because I don't think I've ever dug it out. So I'll dig out a piece right there, and they'll discover what that is, because if I click on it here, that's going to be a consumable ore. Oh, so they have seen it before. That's going to be stored there at high priority. So whenever the dupes dig it out, instead of it slowly going to chlorine, they can preserve it. So notice right there, a little bit of green gas is going out. So because this is a high priority task, I made that 7. It shouldn't take one of the dupes too long. They don't have many calories. I've been not managing things very well. I've got, whoops. We need to deal with this situation. Pronto. Bunch of planter boxes. Here. Let's put a bunch right here. Growing mealwood. That's not a great source of food, I must admit. Slowly investing in a better source, which is meat, but that's going to take some time. I haven't put in an incubator, so that process is going to be slow to start. And we're quite critical right now with food. Let's just dig out. Let's get out of this situation. This is because I haven't played this game in a while and haven't been forgot some of the things that you've got to do, like constantly watching things, including two of the key things, which is food and oxygen. Speaking of which, how are we doing for oxygen? Okay, oxygen is good at least. Food is not. Food is in a very bad situation. We need to deal with that right away. Okay, so this is one row. Let's do another row of this stuff. We'll plant even more mealwood seed. That is going to take dirt and essentially produce food. We might... Normally I don't jump. I'm remembering this now. Normally I don't just jump to meat. I normally go from mealwood to an alternate source of food until my meat system kind of catches up. How many do I have? Still populating these rooms with pips. So we definitely need to think about that. But before that, let's get more mealwood in here. Otherwise, the dupes may starve. I do not want to see that happen. Alright, so bleach stone. We're going to worry about you later. Let's focus on food, and we'll be back to that. And now I need to think about an alternate source. Normally that's mushrooms, but I don't have any mushrooms here. So I'm thinking these guys, grub plant. I don't think I've ever, well, I might have a little bit, but I haven't spent a lot of time with grub plants. But that's going to be what we need. That's, I think, sulfur, which is input to that. Which I don't have a renewable source, but that's okay. That's not the... I don't need to have it as a renewable source. Hold on, I need to decide where I want to grow this. I'm going to be ultimately moving this up, so that could be a good location. What temp? Hold on, I need to know the temperature to grow this. 15 to 50, so it can be pretty warm. 15, so I certainly don't want it cold. This is too cold right here. Too cold. Up in this location could be, that could be a good ideal location. 15 degrees. The core base is actually decent. I could grow a little bit right here. That's another good location. 50 degrees. We don't have it. Things is too hot, but that would be bad. What to do? What to do? 15. Let's grow some right here on that line. This is going to be on the other side of these gas masks, but that's going to change in time. And this is just a temporary source of food until we're into barbecue meat. So I'm going to make a little bit of a change. Right here I've got my hydrogen area, but I've got a lot of oxygen around here. The dupes at this point are wearing gas masks to work in there. I'm going to temporarily disable this. Or not temporarily, actually I'm going to remove it altogether. So when they, that's a problem. Unequipped suit. Anyone that's on this side, you can now not have to be wearing a suit. That's going to allow them to be just a little bit faster. And actually to speed things up even further, they don't have to go through this route. We can even destroy the gas masks that are there now. And we'll relocate them up here. Right now I don't have any construction, so the dupes shouldn't be spending much time up there. But hopefully I will remember to put the gas mask station back on. Until then, food is the priority. We're up to 13,000 calories. Things are improving a little bit, but that's got to be worked on a little bit more. I'm going to have an actual farm available to grow this stuff. So that's the spindle grubfruit plant. Anytime I have a farm, I want to have a farm station. That means I need fertilizer. Just realized that. But that's okay. I think we can get fertilizer. We will have, I don't think we need hydroponic. Let's put that like that. Don't have anyone with the skills, but I think we've got a lot of skill. Well, we have farmer here. So guess what? Farmer, you're going to have crop tending. Boom. Got a dupe that has that skill. Now we just need fertilizer. Also be very good if we stored sulfite here. Or sulfur, rather. Lots of it to dig out. So that's a good thing. I think we even want to have these guys in there because I think they tend to plants, or is that the right one? Anyway, I must admit I don't experiment with those ones that much. Here we go. Grub fruit seed. I'm gonna plant the first one. First one is now in there. Copy that. Whoops. Hold on. What is going on? Copy settings. It is being tricky. Close them, retry that again. There we go. So just verify that this guy consumes sulfur. Yeah, 10 kilograms to cycle it. So that means it'd be ideal if we stored that here. Sulfur, where is sulfur? Is that a raw mineral? Sulfur, sulfur, sulfur. I don't know where. It's not organic. Miscellaneous? Yeah, okay, there it is, miscellaneous. So that is going to give us a place to grow and store the sulfur. We need fertilizer if we actually want to increase the rate of that growing. Got lots of polluted water for that. We also need, I think we have some, there's some phosphorate. There might already be some that exists. That's going to produce some natural gas, but as long as we're underneath the oxygen mask, I'm not really worried about that. We don't need a whole lot either. I'm going to want to put that like right here. This is where we're going to be storing, or producing rather, our natural gas. Or yeah, I guess will be byproducts natural gas, but I meant fertilizer. That's going to need some polluted water. I'm going to make sure not to use the polluted water from here that has the food poisoning. Ah, nuts, yeah, because that would leak into the air. So I have probably another pipe that I'm going to get from here. This is just regular polluted water that doesn't have food poisoning. That will feed into this guy, giving us fertilizer. Phosphorite, where is that? Is that a mineral? No, wait a minute, that is, I think that's at the top, isn't agriculture? Phosphorite. Might as well store it next to where it's going to be consumed. Now that produces polluted dirt, so that might make a little bit of polluted oxygen, so we'll just put one of those deodorizers to handle a little bit of that. Plants are growing. Farmer's not able to attend to this without fertilizer. So we're storing sulfur in there. It would also be nice to store fertilizer. Can't select it, that's right, because I have not produced any yet. And it looks, well, I could put in this scan here. What is it? This view. And I can't remember if there's a way. Oh yeah, you can choose this, change it by this. I don't know if there is any fertilizer. Sandstone. I don't know which category it would be in. But I don't think it exists here. Because I could dig out a little bit and we could get started. But it shouldn't take the dupes too long to create a fertilizer synthesizer. New dupe. I would not mind taking on a new dupe. Oxylite. Farming, ranching. Very fast dupe that has some negative traits. Rocketry, decorating, and ranching. Decreased machinery. Let's bring... I'll bring on this dupe. Called them Artist. It's a 9th dupe that's joining the team. Now 17,000 calories. We're going to have to really push for this. Continue to grow. Kind of like the idea. I have some natural plants growing. In fact, let's set the dupe set up to harvest those. It would also probably be smart to send another dupe over here. That's going to be Pilot. Oh yes, check the schedule. Artist, let's send you to this spot there. And Pilot, where is Pilot? Were they down there? They are just about to, I'll get, whoops, I just realized the bath time's not quite what I had planned. There we go. In the morning, I'm going to get Pilot to wake up, and I'll send them over to this world. So we'll just warp. Well, I'll just meet you then. Pilot just woke up, so I'm going to tell Pilot, you are going over here. We're going to see the destination. You can actually see the geysers that has accessible to it. Ice meteor shower. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, slow down, slow down, slow down. Click over here. Meteor showers. No meteor showers forecasted. Slimy, ice, and copper meteor shower. So it's not that relay equipment. It's actually copper, ice, and slime that falls down. Interesting. Okay, wow. Wow, okay. Yeah, okay, we need to be getting over there and figuring out what's going on in this update, because that seems kind of cool. Pilot is... No, they're just doing... Farmer doing some digging. Pilot is going... Okay, there we are. Slowing things down. Now, the moment they get there, I'm going to hit teleport, because I know they get trapped in there. Don't do anything until you actually hit that button. They look like they're in pain being teleported. They're converted to an email or message and sent as bits over here. Nice thing about this is now that this dupe is here, they can consume a little bit of calories that's over here. So I only need to feed 8 dupes. 2 priorities. I remember this. I want to get some dirt. Where is the closest piece of dirt? Let's destroy this. Dig out a piece of dirt. I need something to build out of. Igneous rock will do. So I want to make an outhouse and a bed, a cot. And I'm aiming at the end of the cycle for them to be able to have a place to sleep, and a barracks, and a lavatory. Or not a lavatory, that's too fancy for them right now. I mean an outhouse. So that is going to be an outhouse. If I put it there, they're not actually going to have it. I'm not going to be able to build a sink without... I don't know if I should destroy that or not. Let's just leave that alone. Let's destroy this instead. Put a sink right next to it. But we should build a cot first. This is where the multitasking goes, because I have to also worry about the other asteroid and what's happening there. But let's build a cot and put that right there. So that dude can handle that for the time being. Over here, this needs to recharge, so I can't send anyone over for a little bit. Oh yeah, you never got power to this. It's going to be an essential part of my ability to solve the food issue. Okay, so I've got more of these. I need more seeds. I kind of don't want to dig out the natural ones, because they don't require sulfur as input. Oh, I wonder how much I should really be worried about that. Don't want to speed things up too bad or too fast, because I do want to get back to the other dude. Actually, let's have a look. We're about to build a cot. Okay, so now they have a place to go to the washroom. We'll make it a sink, because I think we have barracks. If I make a sink available, they'll also have not an outhouse. What's the room? Well, we'll see what it is here in a second. Oh, the latrine. That right there. Now the problem with this is the sink's on the wrong side, but it's still gonna have the morale benefit once it's built. I can start to explore. So I'm gonna have meteor showers. Let's look at this before the first meteor shower hits. It's very cold up on this surface, minus 15 over here, minus 40. I'm going to say no meteorites have ever hit on this asteroid yet. But now that we're here, we sort of activated the world. Can't dig through Abyssalite with Pilot just yet. I guess that's something I'll do later. But now that Pilot's here, they can start to explore and they can set up the base. The other thing they can do is they can unlock this dupe. I'm going to hold off until we're producing a little bit of food and oxygen, and then I'll unlock this guy. They'll explore up and down. We'll give them a place to eat so they can up their morale even more. But probably need to think about oxygen production before we go too far. Okay, so I have lost a little video clip there. So let me get caught up on what I was doing last little bit. Pilot has been busy. They found some mealwood seeds that have been buried in these buried objects around. They've been planting several of them there. They're producing oxygen with algae. So that is an important source of oxygen because that oxalate that is there is going to be used up in time. And they've got this ladder going up and down there, and they're even putting in a fire pole. So we'll get them to continue to expand. Search around when I get access to the teleportation equipment. There's been no asteroids. It's pretty cold up here still. -14, that particular tile. It's very warm, 83 degrees here. I'm going to need some thimbleweed seeds, and I don't see any of that. I was expecting or really hoping that would exist over here. Maybe it is in just some of the far corners, but I don't think so. If I go to the star map, it is, if I go to the general description, rust, oil. No, I'm not sure that magma rust. Yeah, not rust, oil. Oh goodness, I'm not gonna get thimbleweed seed there. That I'm gonna have to account for. Okay, alright, I'm gonna think about that another time. Dupes are all idle here, which is just means that I need to essentially stop for a moment and think about what I want to have the dupes do. Having water put in from here. Oh, this isn't on probably because it's not powered. Now that I've got that, I'm going to have that drained and cached and stored over here. I'm going to do the same thing with those ones in time. So I've got all my water that's been given to me at the beginning of the world that's stored there just in one place. Just easier to manage that way. And dupes are still out of things to do. How about you give me more glass? We'll research something because I'm going to need it eventually. Oh, carbon dioxide engine. I'm going to need that at some point. And I have to figure out what I'm going to do with thimbleweed seed because it does not exist over here. I'm pretty sure, yeah. Can expand the fire pole at least. So I think that may do for this particular episode, because I have to stop now and think about thimbleweed seed. I made the assumption it was over here, but since Pilot's been here and I'm looking around, I realized no, it is not. And it didn't have to wait till Pilot was there. I could just look at the star map, but anyway, it is what it is. And I will have to, because I want to get the access to build the suits that they can walk around. In particular, this really hot area. That's where I want it to have the suits available. Okay, anyway, that's something I'm going to have to think about in the meantime. But I managed to get over to this other asteroid. There's just the one dupe. I'm going to wake this guy up in time so that I get 2 of the dupes. I'll do that in the next episode. Over here, just managing the water situation because we had an issue with food that has been solved. I can see water has been pushed into here. Let's go. Oh, that's pointless. There we go. So it's going to take all the water that was here and send it there. Eventually, I'm going to have the ones from down here, but I'll do that in the next episode. And I just need to continue advancing this base. So I want to have a metal refinery so we can make steel. I want to have a telescope, and we need to build rockets. So we'll do that in the next few episodes, continuing the process till we figure out what are some of the new things of this asteroid. But now we're finally on an asteroid that can have meteorites hit it. What were the three? I was not expecting different types of asteroids, but copper, ice, slime will be falling on this world. And I'll have to figure out how to deal with that. And I still haven't found, it's possible that it might be in one of the corners, but there's a specimen somewheres that may not necessarily be here. So we'll have to get a telescope, start looking out in space, and start traveling around so I can discover what all the full features are for the What a Blast update of Oxygen Not Included. Well, thank you for watching. I will see you in a future episode where I will continue to advance this base and then hopefully discover some of these new features. Until then, thanks for watching.